Alright, hello and welcome to yet another No-Name MAME game. Today's No-Name MAME game is, of course, Mirax. That's right, couldn't live well enough alone. And you know what? Another game came across my desk. Today, it's Mirax. 1985. I now have some context for that. Dang. I mean, yeah, part of it is CRT halation, but this game looks cool. Wait, what the heck? So I played like 2 seconds of it for the sound test, and it was a horizontal shoot 'em up. But here it's a back of the head cam, 3D super scrolling shoot 'em up. I mean, unfortunately, it has nothing on Space Harrier. But you know what? Looks aren't everything. Oh, I see. I saw this and assumed it was a horizontal shoot 'em up. It's pretty cool though. Not gonna lie. Oh. All right. So the controls are as you would expect. Of course, second button is fire. Yep, feels like there's only one button. So down is down, up is up. That is an important distinction to make with these sort of 3D shoot 'em ups. Oh my. Let's see. Are they doing super scrolling? Or is it just sprites? Because it looks like those missiles are just differently sized sprites. Because again, Space Harrier, they were able to actually scale the sprites dynamically as it went. And that gave it a sense of fluidity. I would also say a sense of distinctness, because it's not exactly how the real life works. I mean, it kind of... And... is that like a giant space snake? Okay, maybe this game was a little inspired by Space Harrier, because I don't know many other games that have giant weird space snakes that just kind of like exist. Although it is interesting how they went for your primary threat to your existence being these sort of like missiles that come at you. But like, after a while, I mean, you can kind of deal with them. Oh my. This game, I mean, I don't want to say it's more fun than Space Harrier just with like the small sample size I've seen, but like, this game is like eminently more playable than Space Harrier. I mean, first off, having a reticule that shows you where you're aiming goes a long way. Check it out, stage 2. That is awesome. Just, I don't know, a space gunk flying by, a small little sound, small little burst of sound. Considering that's like the only part of the game that has music, maybe they just popped all their storage space for that brief little place. But it's like, yeah, the aiming reticule really helps. And also, the aiming reticule kind of gives you an impression for like where your ship is going to be. So you don't necessarily have to be looking at your ship. Because that was one of the complaints I had about Space Harrier, is that like, yeah, you can shoot. Well, I guess they have 2 songs. Hey, not bad. Whoa, continue. I like how it has the timer, and they even show like the milliseconds going on, because it's like, hey kid, oh, I gotta press start. But it's like, hey kid, you want to continue? You better be quick about it, otherwise we're gonna let the next kid after you play. And I mean, on one hand, that does seem a little unusually insistent, a little unusually pushy, but again, this was the age of Space Invaders, where like, kids were probably lining across all the blocks waiting to play these arcade games. So it's like, if one kid's on it for too long, it's like that could legitimately be ruin somebody's day, I guess. But yeah, Space Harrier, I mean, yeah, you can like kind of see where you're shooting, and like, yeah, it does, like, your shot's home, so like that kind of hides some sins. But it's like, after a while, it's like you just get this sense that like you're not really in control with Space Harrier. I mean, you are doing things and your actions are affecting Space Harrier, but are you truly controlling it if you do these actions and you're never quite sure what's going to happen? But dang, Mirax, it's like, the reticule is a very smart idea, because it's like, thanks to the reticule, I know where my ship is. I mean, it's hard to judge distance, but also the game is kind of set up in such a way that it's like, it's relatively clear when things are going to be attacking you and when things aren't. Well, okay, there. I guess maybe it was a little unclear. But like, you see these giant spiky orbs, and it's like, I'm pretty sure they are going to attack me. And surprise, surprise, they do a little loop-de-loop, and then they come and try to ram into you. And it's like, just it's that kind of predictable gameplay that is what I'm looking for in an arcade game. A game kind of gameplay that it's like I can predict what's going to happen when I'm getting danger. I want to be able to see immediately what kind of danger I'm in. And when there's like a giant spiky ball headed at you, it's like, well, if that's not danger, I have a warped sense of it. And also too, you've got these like giant dragons that shoot fireballs at you. However, the dragons themselves do not like weirdly charge at you. Whereas like Space Harrier, the weird space dragons, like, they go all over the place. They go towards you, against you. Sometimes you ride them in special stages. It is baffling. Are the dragons your friends, your enemies, useful companions? It is entirely ambiguous. Whereas this game, it's like, it's very clear. They are targets, however, they don't necessarily charge at you. However, they will shoot giant fireballs at you. Check out these space bugs. And it's like, they're just kind of ambly walking on screen, left and right, no problem. That is so weird. So, like, there are these cubes floating in space, which I guess that's weird in and of itself. And so, obviously, they're like an obstacle. But, like, again, because you can dodge them horizontally, you don't have to worry about verticality or any sort of real depth. There's no real insistence on depth. Then, like, it is entirely it is entirely easy and, in fact, even possible to dodge them. And even these, like, fireballs, it's like you can kind of dodge them horizontally. So it's like, even though they're trying to depict depth with, like, sprites, which historically has never really worked out. Like, there's a lot of skill, game design skill on design or on display here. Oh, do you actually choose what stage you resume from? Because here I was thinking, like, you just enter your credit, press start, and that's all you have to do. But I guess you have to also select what stage you want to start from. I can't really imagine any sort of reason why you would want to start from level 1. I guess maybe if you were trying to pad out your score and you wanted it as high as possible, but like, well, I mean, okay, I can see that. Because this is another game where it's like, it's very clear how to play, it's very clear what you need to do, and it's very clear that skill is being rewarded. And so, yeah, this game would be like a nice, good skill game. I mean, assuming that the skill, or the scoring system is half decent. It does seem to be very based on survival, though. Oh, it is mad. It is really mad. So apparently if you bully the space snake too much, he reminds you that he is in fact a space dragon, and he comes for your blood. Your robotic blood. I also like how this game sort of implies that you're flying towards this titular Mirax city, and it's like, what is a Mirax city? What do I get there? Is this some sort of Lode Runner type game where it's like, okay, if I can get to Mirax city, then I'm assured eternal youth? Is this some sort of game where it's like, I don't know, I'm a space international trader? I love it. It keeps track of move control to select. Thanks for telling me that now, game. But it keeps track of the top 100 scores. I mean, it doesn't dignify it with a name if you're below top 5. But hey, you're being listened to. You exist and you matter. Not a lot, but enough. That's actually kind of an interesting philosophy. It's like you matter, but not a lot. And okay, you can give a lot of games crap for having like black screens in the background, but like the color palette they chose and just the bright blues and whatever, like it really does contrast very nicely with the blackness. I mean, again, matching anything with black is fashion on easy mode and game color design on easy mode, but still, you can mess it up, and I have seen a lot of games that have used like more garish tones than I thought even existed. You think Jolly Jogger is one of those games? Believe you me, pal, Jolly Jogger is one of the games that did it acceptably. There are worse games. Oof. So, seeing this game where, like, it all comes together quite nicely. Yeah, I mean, you might be playing on easy mode, but hey, you can mess up easy mode. Just check out some of my gameplay on some of these games. Man, I just can't get over like how intuitive this game is, like how smart everything is set up, and it's like everything's just set up in such a way that it's like you get it. You naturally understand the gameplay and the gameplay mechanics, and the scoring mechanics. It's like, hey, you want to get high scores, shoot everything. You want to You want to, like, also get high score? Just keep surviving. And it's like, yeah, I get it. That's the way an arcade game should be. Maybe a little simplistic, but still visceral and satisfying. Also with the continue feature. I guess if I was to find one fault in this game, it would be this game's completely baffling continue feature. I mean, it works, and I guess if you really like Stage 1, for example, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna blame you. Stage 2's color palette is like maybe a little less optimal. Then yeah, I can kind of see it, but I don't know. Give me the latest stage any day of the week. Man, this is kind of disappointing because I do want to get to Mirax City, but it's like, I know I'm not going to get it on this credit. I know I'm not going to get it on any sort of credits. I could probably play an entire day and, like, just barely get within spitting distance of Mirax City. Oh, that is awesome. So, like, yeah, now they're getting a little closer together, but, like, even so, it's possible. Like, you can see the little gaps in between them, and it's like, all you gotta do is just aim for the spaces in between, no more or less. And it's like this game, it's willing to challenge you, but most importantly, it's willing to give you the tools you need to succeed in the game. Now, maybe that little spinner was a little cutthroat, but it's like, you know what? I'm willing to accept that. Game's gotta have a little bit of difficulty. He's gotta throw an elbow every now and then. That being said, well, hey, I even got top score. You know what? Let's change the goalposts. Let's say that's enough. Let's say that's my objective every time I boot one of these games up. Set the high score. Some games, it's easier, harder than others. What? Move control to select. So I'm pressing left. I'm pressing right. I'm pressing up. Is there something I'm missing? That is very weird. So I thought it would be just a simple matter of, like, choosing what stage you want to continue at, but like, maybe there's something more to it. I don't know. That being said, I didn't necessarily want to continue at that point either, but nice. Oh, is this one of those games that only shows you level 1 and, like, asks you to... Wait a minute, what? The space swaps were definitely not on level 1. Is this, like, level 1? Or no. Is this, like, level 2, but then they changed everything to the level 1 spell? Whoa, those are new. Well, okay. Traditionally, new things in this game have been, like, significantly bigger threats than, like, anything that came before, but, like, these spaceships don't seem to be that much more difficult than the bugs. Although, hey, who knows? They could always have some sort of secret weapon. But yeah, you see this game. I mean, there's obviously more game. There's gonna be more. It's not gonna just let you sleepwalk to Mirax City. Going to Mirax City has to mean something. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely going to mean something. Dang. Well, this is definitely one of those games where it's like, you just gotta look it up afterwards and see, what is the deal with this game? Who made this game? Where did this game come from? Oh, well, that's kind of boring. So you just have to get to Mirax City. Pff, I bet that's what Mirax City looks like. Current Technology Inc. Current Technology Inc. Gee, I hope that's not a name that ages poorly due to obsoleted technology. But I'll give him credit. There's always, like, sharp gameplay design. It's always current. It's always current. But that's kind of disappointing. So Mirax City is just like some sort of Death Star space battle fortress sort of deal. I was really pulling for this game to have some sort of, like, weird cyberpunk, like, you gotta make it to Mirax City for eternal life sort of deal. I feel like that's the only way this game could have been even cooler. If you gave it, like, sort of vaguely outrun aesthetic. I mean, hey, the viewpoint's almost already there. All you need are, like, just, like, a few other grid lines, and you change it up, you give it some sweet synthwave bass background sound. Well, I guess we've made it to that point where now we start theory crafting new games. That's okay. I'm fine with the games that already exist. So on that note, This cat's gotta scat off to the next game.